Hey friends. Wow, what a month May has been. We're having to wave goodbye to a big chunk, basically almost all of our emergency fund. I just want to hop on and share the experience with you because these are the kinds of real life moments we all deal with. It's exactly why we have emergency funds, and I'm going to go over that today, what happened for us. It was Sunday before Memorial Day. I woke up around 6:30 in the morning, and right away I could tell something wasn't right. It was already 80 degrees in the house. I checked the thermostat and could hear that the AC was running, so I thought maybe I just need some time to catch it up. But by 7:30, an hour later, the house was even hotter. It was 81 degrees, and I knew something was definitely wrong. I ended up calling a friend of mine. Her husband works for an HVAC. And even though I knew it was a Sunday before a holiday, I asked if he might be willing to come take a look. Thankfully, he said, sure, no problem. He came over later that day and started checking things out. The good news, the outside unit was working just fine. The bad news, the air handler and the part of the system that's up in the attic all needed to be fully replaced. So at that point, we knew we were looking at our emergency fund. And part of me didn't want to touch it. I mean, it just takes so much effort to build it up. There was even a tiny thought, maybe we should just finance this instead. But then I quickly reminded myself, I don't want any more debt. I don't want the interest. I don't want to have to pay extra for something that's already this expensive. This is literally what an emergency fund is for. Unplanned, urgent expenses like this. We have the money set aside. I don't want to pay that interest. I don't want to build up more debt. So we used it. Now, since it was Sunday and we weren't going to have AC until Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday was when the stuff was coming in. Since it wasn't going to be replaced immediately and we had to survive the next few days in that heat, we ended up going out and buying a window AC unit just to keep the house bearable until the repairs could be done. That unit ended up costing us $450. I had already saved up for an AC unit for our camp and set aside a little bit over $150 for that. So we pulled the remaining $300 from savings to cover it. And in the end, it actually worked out because now we have a unit that we can reuse at the camp and use that there long term. So it's something we were kind of already planning for, and this is going to serve a double purpose. So we went ahead and spent the funds for the AC, window AC unit now. Okay, going back to the central AC unit, the quote we received for replacing the handler, and you can see here, was $5,440 for the air handler, and the new plenum was an additional $750. So my husband and I were going over the estimate, and we started thinking, if we're already in the attic and we're already doing this work, maybe this is a good time to go ahead and fix a few other things. The way our AC unit sat in the attic, it blocked off half of the access that we had to the attic space. So we asked if they could go ahead and give us an estimate for moving the unit further down into the attic to open that space back up for us. And we also wanted to replace all the ductwork, get an estimate for replacing all the ductwork, adding a vent to our laundry room, and kind of readdressing one of the vents that goes to one of the bedrooms that's always hot in our house. So adding those additions, relocating the unit, replacing the ductwork, adding the new vent, and reworking one of the bedroom vents added an additional $1,950. Okay, so writing these in, if we have the air handler at $5,440, and then we have the plenum. I hope I'm saying that word right. I don't know. $750, and then the ductwork, and I'm just going to write ETC with that, was $1,950. Yes, $1,950 for that. And we got a $200 discount. Okay, so that totals $7,940. But we also needed to have a little structural work done in the attic to support the new placement. Since my husband's a carpenter, we were able to do that with just the cost of materials. So the additional, I'm going to put support material, was $215. So that brings our total that we're pulling out as $8,155 in total is what we pulled from the emergency fund to cover all of this. It's definitely not fun watching that much of your savings disappear, but I am so thankful we had it. It gave us the peace of mind. It let us kind of think through and be really thoughtful about the decisions that we wanted to make in the attic without the added stress of like creating debt or scrambling to come up with the money. Knowing that we had it and we had the ability to make that decision and to add the extra work to make our life in the future better was really just worked out beautifully. You'll see more of this, or some of this, you'll see me touch on this in my next weekly check-in video, but I wanted to hop on and share what's been going on behind the scenes just because this is real life. Thanks for being here and letting me share this journey with you. I'll see you soon.